You reached for your dog. Maybe you were moving them off the couch. Maybe you touched them while they were eating. Maybe you got too close while they were sleeping. Or you tried to take something out of their mouth. Or you leaned over them the way you've done 1,000 times before. And they growled. Not a bark. Not a snap. A growl. Low, deliberate, unmistakable. And something shifted in you. Maybe it was fear. Maybe it was hurt. Maybe it was anger. How dare they? After everything you've done for them, after every walk and every meal and every night they've slept in your bed, and almost certainly, somewhere in the back of your mind, a voice said, you need to show them that is not okay. You need to correct that. You need to make sure they know who's in charge. I need you to stop. Because what you are about to do, what almost every dog owner does in that moment, is one of the most dangerous mistakes in the entire human-dog relationship. And I don't mean dangerous for you. I mean dangerous for your dog. And ultimately, catastrophically, for both of you. The growl just saved your life, and you're about to punish it. 1. What a growl actually is. Let's establish something that will completely reframe every growl you've ever heard from your dog or anyone else's. A growl is not aggression. A growl is communication. More specifically, a growl is the most honest, most restrained, most socially sophisticated thing your dog can do in a moment of distress. It is your dog using words instead of actions. It is your dog choosing the warning over the consequence. It is your dog saying, clearly and precisely, I am uncomfortable. Please stop. I'm asking you, not telling you, not yet. Think about what that requires. Your dog is experiencing something. Pain, fear, stress, resource guarding, a boundary being crossed. And instead of simply reacting with their teeth, they are producing a controlled vocalization designed to communicate that experience and give you the opportunity to respond. That is not a dangerous dog. That is a dog with extraordinary emotional regulation who is trying their absolute hardest to resolve a situation without escalating it. The dog who bites without warning? That dog warned. The warning was ignored, punished, or trained away. And so the dog learned that warnings don't work, so they skipped it. Every dog bite that comes out of nowhere came from somewhere. It came from a growl that was corrected, from a whale eye that was missed, from a stiff body that was overridden, from a dog who tried to communicate in every way available to them and found that none of it worked. The growl is not the beginning of something dangerous. The silence after you've punished the growl, that is where the danger lives. 2. Why your dog is growling at you specifically. Here's what makes this harder. It's not a stranger. It's you. The person they sleep next to. The person who feeds them. The person they follow from room to room. And that makes it feel more like betrayal than communication. But let's look at the actual reasons a dog growls at someone they love. Because each one tells you something completely different. Pain. This is the most commonly missed cause of growling in dogs who have never shown aggression before. A dog who has always been fine with being touched and suddenly growls when you reach toward a specific area. Their hip, their ear, their mouth is not changing personality. They are telling you something hurts. Every veterinarian will tell you, new onset growling in a previously non-reactive dog is a medical symptom until proven otherwise. Before you address the behavior, rule out the body. Resource guarding. This one is instinctual and ancient. Food, toys, spaces, even people. These are resources, and the drive to protect them is hardwired. A dog who growls over their food bowl is not dominant. They are operating on millions of years of survival programming that says resources are finite and competitors are real. This is one of the most treatable behavioral conditions in dogs when approached correctly. It is also one of the most dangerous to approach incorrectly. Space and sleep. Waking a dog suddenly, cornering them in a small space, leaning directly over them. These are all situations where a dog who cannot comfortably escape will use the next available tool, not because they want to hurt you, because they are trapped, and the growl is the only exit ramp left. Fear. A dog who is frightened of something you're doing. A tool, a sound, a movement, a piece of equipment will growl to tell you that. Children who approach dogs at face level, owners who use certain handling techniques, strangers who move too quickly. The growl is not attitude. It is fear speaking in the only voice it has. Learned associations. Some dogs growl in specific contexts because something in that context was previously paired with something aversive: the leash, the nail clippers, the vet carrier, the bath. The growl is a conditioned response, a memory of discomfort attached to a specific trigger. It is not about the present moment. It is about every previous time that trigger predicted something unpleasant. In every single one of these cases, the growl is information, rich, specific, actionable information. Your dog is handing you a diagnosis. The only question is whether you're willing to read it. 3. What happens when you punish the growl? This is the part of the video that I need you to hear completely. When you correct a growl. When you use a sharp no, a leash pop, a physical correction, a raised voice, or any aversive in response to your dog growling. You are not teaching your dog not to be uncomfortable. You are teaching your dog not to tell you they're uncomfortable. The discomfort is still there. The fear is still there. The pain is still there. The resource guarding instinct is still there. Every single thing that caused the growl is still present and unchanged. You have simply removed the warning system. You have created a dog who will bite without growling. And I want you to sit with that for a moment, because this is not a theoretical risk. This is what the behavioral data shows consistently across decades of research. Punishment-based suppression of warning signals is one of the primary pathways to what owners and emergency room doctors call unprovoked bites. The bite was not unprovoked. The provocation was present every single time. The communication about it was simply silenced. This is also why the advice to dominate a growling dog, to alpha roll them, to hold them down, to stare them down until they submit, is not just ineffective but genuinely dangerous. A dog being physically overpowered while already in a fear or pain state is a dog with no options left. And a dog with no options is the most dangerous version of that dog that exists. You do not want a dog who has stopped growling because they have accepted your leadership. You want a dog who has stopped growling because the thing that was causing the growl has been addressed. Those two outcomes look identical on the surface. They are completely different underneath. 4. What to do instead, right now and long term. The moment your dog growls at you, do one thing immediately. Stop whatever you were doing and create space. Not as punishment, not as retreat, as acknowledgement. Your dog communicated. You heard it. You are responding. That is not weakness. That is the foundation of trust. Then assess. Ask yourself the questions. Where were you touching them? What were you doing? What was in the environment? What has changed recently? Is this new behavior or an escalation of something you've seen before? Is there any possibility this is pain? If there is any possibility of pain, any at all, the next step is the vet, not the trainer. If the context is resource guarding, the protocol is specific and structured and genuinely works. You build a new association between your approach and the appearance of something better than what they're guarding. You never take, you trade. You make your arrival near the resource predict good things until the resource guarding response has nothing to attach to, because you are now the best thing that happens near that bowl, that toy, that space. If the context is fear or a learned negative association, you counter condition. You pair the scary trigger with something overwhelmingly positive at a distance and intensity your dog can tolerate until the trigger's emotional meaning changes in the brain. And throughout all of this, you protect the growl. You treat it as the gift it is, because a dog who still growls at you is a dog who still trusts you enough to talk to you. The moment that stops, the conversation is over, and the only thing that comes after the conversation is the consequence neither of you wants. The only thing that matters. Your dog growled at you because they needed something to be different. They didn't choose to growl at you. They chose to growl instead of bite. They chose communication over consequence. They gave you the chance to understand before they were forced to act. That is not a dangerous dog. That is a dog who still believes you might listen. Be the person who does.